a piece of ice at mass 40 grams is added to 200 gram of water at 50 degrees Celsius. Okay, 9th one. Okay, fine. Now, the piece of ice is having a mass of 40 grams. Okay, it is added to water. Now, water is warm. It is at 50 degrees Celsius, right? So, water is going to lose the heat and the temperature of water is going to come down, right? And what is going to happen to ice? Ice will melt and the temperature of ice will rise. Okay, both will come to a particular temperature, right? So, what we are going to do is we say let the final temperature of the mixture be T. So we will keep the temperature as T. Okay. Now everyone see what I am doing. So initial temperature, can you see here? Initial temperature of water has been taken as 50 degrees Celsius. Initial temperature of water is 50 degrees Celsius. Okay. Now let the final temperature when all the ice has melted, we are taking T degrees Celsius. Okay. Now we are going to find that the water has come from 50 degrees Celsius. It is coming to water from 50 degrees Celsius. It is coming to T degrees Celsius. Okay. So when the temperature of water from 50 degrees comes to T degrees Celsius, amount of heat lost, okay, when 200 gram of water at 50 degrees Celsius cools to T degrees Celsius. So the formula will be MC delta T, right? Now mass is given 200 grams. Okay, I'm taking the mass in grams. Okay, and because I'm taking the mass in grams, what am I doing in the question? Children, specific heat capacity of water is given 4200 joule per kg. Okay, please remember specific heat capacity of water in grams is 4.2. So I take this, I convert that and I take it as 4.2. That you have to remember for water and the latent heat of fusion of ice. Okay, if it is joule per gram, it is 336. Okay, but if it is joule per kg, latent heat of fusion of ice, then it is 336 multiplied by 10 raised to 3. Okay, so here I am taking grams. So that is why I converted 4200. I have converted to 4.2. Okay, joule per kg per Kelvin, the specific heat capacity of water. Then this is the change in temperature, delta T. From 50, the water is coming down to T. So I solve the equation, open the bracket. Okay, so you will get 42,000 minus 840 joule. First you multiply this, 200 into 4.2, then you multiply by 50, you get 42,000. And this 200 into 4.2, you multiply by T, you get 840 T. Now, this is done. So water has come from 50 degrees to a particular temperature, T degrees. Now let's start with ice. Now the first thing that you have to do is change of phase. Are you understanding? With ice, you're going to do change of phase. So amount of heat gained when 40 gram of ice at 0 degrees. So ice is at 0 degrees. It converts to water at 0 degrees. So first thing will be change of phase. So when you're doing the change of phase, it will be M into L. Just do M into L. Now again, see what I'm doing. I've taken 40 grams, 40, and in the question, latent heat of fusion of ice is given as 336 multiplied by 10 raised to 3. If you see the question, 336 multiplied by 10 raised to 3 joule per kg. I'm only taking 336 because I'm taking joule per gram. Okay, so because of that, I'm not taking the other value. So it will be 40 multiplied by 336. So now this is the change of phase. So 13,440 joules, right? Now this ice has converted. Now from that water, now it has come to water. Water is at 0 degrees. It has to go to T degrees. Now water has to go to T degrees. So amount of heat gained, okay, by 40 gram of water at 0, when the temperature of 40 gram of water at 0 degrees rises to T degrees. Now from when ice melted, it converted to water, but that water is at 0 degrees. Now from that 0 degrees, it has to rise to T degrees. So rises to T degrees. So now again you will do MC delta T. Now this time 40 mass of the ice that was there, which has converted to water, 40 C specific heat capacity of water, and T minus 0. Okay, it is the temperature, it has to go to T from 0, so T minus 0. So this will give you 168 T. So now you have a linear equation, right? So by the principle of calorimetry, amount of heat gained is equal to amount of heat lost, right? So what is the amount of heat gained? Okay, gained is over here, these two things. Ice is gaining the heat, right? So the last two equations. So 168 T plus this 13,440 joule. So 13,440 plus 168 is the heat gained by ice, okay? And what is the amount of heat lost? Heat is lost by water, right? From 50 degrees it is coming down. So 42,000 minus 840 T, that is the heat lost by water. You get a linear equation, right? So all the T's on one side. So 840 I take on that side because this is negative. So you take it on that side, it becomes positive. So 168 T plus 840 T equal to 42,000, 13,440. You bring on this side. 1 minute. Who is this? Admit. Everyone's video is on. Ayush. Nobody will switch off the video. Okay. So here, this is the equation, right? 168 plus 840. So it will get, you will get 1008 is equal to 28560 divided. You will get the answer. Okay. So what have we done? We have brought the temperature of water from 50 degrees down to T degrees Celsius. Okay. And the next is the ice. We have risen the temperature, but whenever we use ice, you have to do two steps. Remember the two steps. First, you convert from ice to water, and then you convert from water to that water at 0 degrees. Then it has to, the temperature has to rise. So this is very important. Now the next one, yes, anybody? Yes, Aditya asked me. Yeah.
In the ninth, the second one, amount of heat gained when 40 grams of ice at 0 degrees converts to water. That is latent heat. Is it latent heat, that one?
Yeah. Of course, 40 gram of ice, yes, that is latent heat. So see here, I have done here. Yeah, there's this, no? See, what is going to happen, Aditya? Water was at 50 degrees. It is going to come down, okay? Ice is a block, okay? Ice is at 0 degrees Celsius. That ice is going to melt, and after the ice melts, whatever water is formed on melting, that also is going to increase the temperature, right? So there are two steps to be followed. First step will be, you will see the melting of ice to water. So in that case, you are going to use latent heat. So this is where you use the latent heat. See here, 40 gram of ice converts to water. So what is happening? First time we are melting the ice to water, change of phase, so ml. After that, you don't stop there. Now that 0 degrees, all water that has come from ice, that also has to increase the temperature. So the next step is temperature of 40 gram water. From where this water has come? From ice. Okay. And it is at 0 degrees. You have to increase it to T degrees Celsius, right? So you will do MC delta T. So for 40 into this, it will give you this. Understood? Any other doubts? Okay. Now there is an 8th question. I don't know, Mariam, please tell me which question it is in your book. 250 gram of water at 30 degrees Celsius is contained in a copper vessel of mass 50 gram. In my book, this is the 8th question. In your book, Mariam?
It's 11th one.
Huh? Okay, just see just here. 250, just see, I'm reading the question. 250 gram of water at 30 degrees Celsius is contained in a copper vessel of mass 50 grams. Calculate the mass of ice required to bring down the temperature of the vessel. 11. Are you sure? Okay. So yes. This question number, I will put it as 11. Okay. This is a very good question, children. Please try to understand what is happening over here in this question. Now, 11th one. See, there is a copper vessel. Now, here they have mentioned the copper vessel. Okay, they have mentioned copper vessel. They mentioned in the other sums also. But what is difference? Yes, Rishabh?
Yes. Ma'am, go drink water, please.
Yeah, you can. Okay. Now, so here what is the main thing? They have given you the specific heat capacity of copper. Okay. They have given you the specific heat capacity of copper. That means they want you to include the vessel in the calculations. See, children, what happens is the water is in contact with the vessel. Please try to understand. Now, whenever there is a fall of heat, okay, first thing, when I put 50 degrees Celsius water in a copper vessel, let us say the copper vessel is at 20 degrees Celsius room temperature, okay, I put it in the calorimeter, so it will go into the copper vessel. The minute that 50 degrees Celsius water goes into copper vessel, the temperature of the copper vessel will also rise, and it will also become the same temperature as that of water, because it is in contact with water, okay. But most of the times, whenever we are calculating the loss of heat, we do not take the vessel into consideration. But if they have given you the specific heat capacity of water, then it is very necessary that you take the vessel, the heat lost by vessel or the heat gained by vessel into consideration. That is very necessary. So let us see here what is happening. There is 250 gram water. Please try to understand. It is at 30 degrees. The temperature is 30 degrees. Now the mass of the vessel, copper vessel, is 50 grams. Okay, vessel is 50 grams. Now you have to add some ice. Okay, we don't know how much ice has to be added, but you have to bring the temperature down the vessel and the contents to 5 degrees. So the temperature should come down to 5 degrees from 30 degrees, both the things. Okay, so they are asking you how much of ice has to be added to this, and they have given you the specific heat of capacity of copper, specific heat capacity of water, and latent heat of fusion of ice. Now what do you have? You have the temperature of water as 30 degrees. Now first thing what you are going to do, how much of ice, these are asking you how much mass of ice. So I said let the mass of ice be m. Okay, so you take the mass of ice as m. Now first thing is, when you add the ice, start thinking what is going to happen. Ice is going to convert to water, right? So first thing that I do is amount of heat gained, okay, when m gram of ice at 0 degrees converts to water at 0 degrees. So it is converting to water at 0 degrees. Okay, so it is going to take heat, okay, and then it is going to start melting. So Q equal to ml. So the first thing is change of phase. So m into 336. Again, it is in grams. So I am using 336, right? That is fine. Now, this ice has turned to water, right? Now this water is going to rise. You have to bring the temperature to 5 degrees. Now this water is at 0 degrees. Okay, the temperature of the mixture has to become 5 degrees. So now still the temperature has to rise. So the amount of heat gain, now here m gram of ice has melted. So how much of water it is giving? M gram of water. I do not know how much of ice has to be taken. So the water is also m gram. So amount of heat energy gained when the temperature of m gram of water from 0 degrees rises to 5 degrees Celsius. Now it is only water from 0 degrees to 5 degrees. So you have to use MC delta T. Okay. So I use MC delta T, right? So M is the mass. I do not know. C, specific heat capacity of water, 4.2. And why delta T is 5? From 0, it has to go only to 5 degrees Celsius. Okay, it has to rise only to 5 degrees Celsius. So delta T is 5. Okay, right? So total heat gain. Now I'm calculating total heat gain. So this Q is equal to ml plus mc delta T. Okay, so m into 336 plus m into 4.2 into 5. This is the heat gain, right? So this is when the ice converts to water and the temperature of water rises by 5 degrees. Now we come to the calorimeter and the water. They were at 30 degrees. They are going to come down to 5 degrees. So they are going to lose the heat. Now they are going to lose the heat. So the first step, amount of heat lost by when 250 gram of water at 30 degrees cools to 5 degrees Celsius. Okay. So that is Q equal to MC delta T. Right? So 250 multiply by M multiply by 4.2 specific heat capacity of water, and delta T from 30 it is coming to 5. 30 minus 5, 25. Okay. So delta T is 25. So you get 26250. But now I have to also add into this heat lost by calorimeter. Why? Because they have given us the specific heat capacity of copper. So I have to take into consideration heat lost by calorimeter. Again, the same thing. Heat lost by calorimeter will be MC delta T. Okay. Mass of calorimeter I have. Delta T also I have. 30 minus 5, so 25. But C, what C should I take? I have to take the specific heat capacity of copper because it is made up of copper, not of water. Okay. So the next thing, amount of heat lost, okay, when 50 grams. See, the mass of the vessel is 50 gram. Okay. Vessel, okay, this vessel is made up of copper. So let me add copper.
Ma'am, so we have to calculate for water as well as copper.
Yeah, just because the copper specific heat is given. Yeah. So 50 gram copper vessel at 30 degrees Celsius comes down to 5 degrees Celsius. So Q equal to MC delta T. So the mass is 50 grams. Now C is 0.4 specific heat capacity of copper, and 25 is the same thing. It has to come from 30 to 25, so 500 joules. Okay. So now who is losing heat? Two things are losing heat: copper vessel and water, right? So total heat energy lost here 26250 plus 500, so 26750. Any questions till here? Ask me. Come on, Shravani.
Ma'am,
Yeah, Mariam.
ma'am, how do we know that the copper's temperature is 30 degrees? It's not given.
That is what I said, no, Mariam. When you take water, okay, and you put it in any vessel, okay, the vessel is going to take the heat of this water. See, when you have a glass, okay, which is cold. Now you put hot water in that. Don't you feel that the glass has become hot? Okay, so we have to say both they will till the equilibrium is reached. And you know why calorimeter is made up of copper? Because it has very less specific heat capacity. It quickly attains the temperature of the mixture. So what is the temperature of water that was put? It was 30 degrees Celsius. So quickly the temperature of copper will also become 30 degrees. Both will be same. So we have to take the same temperature. And when it has to lose the heat also, whatever heat water is losing, same amount of heat copper vessel will also lose. Okay. So here, what did we do? First, we saw the heat gained by ice. Okay. We saw the heat gained by ice. You go from 0 degrees to 5 degrees Celsius. So we took latent heat plus 0 to 5. That we did. Then we saw the heat lost by water from 30 degrees to 5 degrees. So we took MC delta T. Again, we saw heat lost by the copper vessel from 30 degrees to 5 degrees. That is also MC delta T. But here, specific heat capacity of copper has to be taken. So I have taken 0.4. Can you see this? 0.4. Okay. Yes. Now total heat lost. Add both of them. Now according to principle of calorimetry, principle of mixture, amount of heat gained is equal to amount of heat lost. So amount of heat gained is here. See here I have written M into 336 plus M into, so M into 336 plus M into 4.2 into 5 is equal to this heat loss 26750, right? Just add this 357 M equal to this, so M equal to this divided by 357. So you will easily get the mass of ice. Okay, so you can easily get the mass of ice. I will send this worksheet today. Once this is over, now it is going to be over. Yeah, this chapter will be over. I will send it to you. Please go through today itself. Okay, please go through, right? This weekend, by this weekend, I want you to complete the chapter calorimetry. See, when it is taught only, if you complete, no, then there will be no problem. You will remember it always. After I teach and after 1 month you take, nothing you're going to follow. Rishabh and all. Today only it has to be sat and done. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Now, ninth one. For me, the ninth one is this. Mariam, just see. Ninth one. 2 kg of ice melts when water at 100 degrees.
12th one.
That is 12. 2 kg. Okay, fine. So this is 12. I will do one more sum. Okay. I will not do all the sums now. Now, then you have to do now.
I'm only 4 are left.
No, but I will not do all. Okay. 12th one. I will do the main ones. So 2 kg ice melts. Okay, so there is an entire block of 2 kg of ice. You are going to pour some hot water. Okay, and for some amount of ice, the mass of ice is 2 kg. Okay, now this ice melts. Okay, then some water is poured. Now this time they are asking you how much water has been poured to melt it. Okay, so 2 kg ice is poured when water at 100 degrees. Water is boiling water. Boiling water is poured. Okay, in a hole. Some hole is drilled and the water is poured. Now, how much of mass of water was used? That is what they are asking. Specific heat capacity of water 4200 joule per kg per Kelvin, and latent heat of fusion of ice is 336 into 10 raised to 3 joule per kg. Okay, so this is given. So there is an entire block of ice of 2 kg, right? So mass of the ice that will be melting is 2 kg, right? You have to find out now the final temperature when it melts. When ice melts, obviously the temperature will be 0 degrees Celsius. Okay, so final temperature will be 0. Now you have to, you're going to pour some water. You have to find the mass of the water that is poured and the heat. Okay, the temperature of water is boiling water 100 degrees Celsius. So the first thing, amount of heat energy gained by ice. First it is going to convert to water. Go step by step. Ice is going to convert to water. So the first step is latent heat of fusion. Okay, so Q equal to M into L. Okay, so Q equal to M into L. Okay, so M is 2 and L is 336 into 10 raised to 3. Okay, so this will be 67,200 joules. Okay, fine. It will be 67. No, how many? Not 67,000. 6,72,000 joules. Okay, so this is Q. Right now, what did I do? I multiplied it by 336 multiplied by 10 raised to 3. Right. So why did I multiply it by 336 multiplied by 10 raised to 3? 1 minute, just 1 minute.
Ma'am, you are on mute.
Okay. So first we are going to see the amount of heat energy gained to convert to water. So you will first do the change of phase. Now the latent heat of fusion 336 into 10 raised to 3 I have taken. Okay, so 6,72,000 joules you got. Now let the amount of water poured be m kg. So final temperature is 100 degrees Celsius and initial temperature 0 degrees Celsius. Okay, so amount of heat lost by m kg water. Now we are going to see the heat lost by water, right? So amount of heat lost by m kg water at 100 degrees to reach 0 degrees. Okay, so that will be mc delta T. So m into 4200. Now why have I taken 4200? Because we are taking the mass in kg. Can you see here? The mass is in kg. So I have taken 4200. Okay, and delta T, boiling water from 100 degrees is going to come down to 0 degrees. So delta T is 100 minus 0. So 100. So that means 4,20,000 M. Okay, right? So by the principle of calorimetry, heat energy gained is equal to heat energy lost. Okay, so M is equal to 6,72,000 divided by 4,20,000. So you will get 1.6 kg. Now here, when ice has converted, I have not raised the temperature of ice. I have just taken M into L because the full temperature is going to remain at 0 degrees. Okay, there is no rise in temperature of ice. So we are not taking any rise in temperature of ice. Okay, heat energy gained is only the energy to convert from ice to water. That's all. Okay. And heat energy lost is the energy to come from the water that is going to come from 100 degrees Celsius to 0 degrees Celsius. Simple. Okay. And then you have to solve the sum. So this is how the sum is solved. Okay. They are asking you what is the mass of the water. So I take the mass of water as m. Okay. And then you solve the entire thing. I think the sums are done. Okay. Those 2-3 sums which are remaining you can do. I think one more sum. Mariam, just see this, which is the sum number. Calculate the total amount of heat energy required to convert 100 gram of ice at -10 completely
13.
to water at 100 degrees. This is 13. Okay.
Yes.
So this is 13. Okay, fine. So now everyone read and I'm going to ask you questions. Come on. So the question is like this. Where is the question? Calculate the total amount of heat energy. Okay. Required to convert 100 gram of ice at -10 completely into water at 100 degrees Celsius. So who is Akshat? Akshat, give me the first statement. Read that 13th question and give me the first statement, Akshat. Hurry up.
Ma'am.
1 minute, Akshat. Where is Akshat?
Yes, ma'am.
Akshat, read that question and give me the first statement. Hurry up. 100 gram of ice is at -10 degree and it has to be converted into water at 100 degrees. So what will be the first statement, Akshat? Who raised the hand? Wait. Akshat. Who will answer? Okay. Who has raised the hand? One person answer. Who raised the hand? Sid. Sid, yes.
Ma'am, amount of heat released when 100 gram of ice at -10 degrees Celsius converts to water at 0 degrees Celsius.
Very good. So first step is going to be, you're going to take the temperature of ice from -10 to 0. Sid, please give me the equation. What equation you will use?
Ma'am, Q is equal to M into L.
Wrong. There only you went wrong.
Ma'am, Q is equal to MCT.
MC delta T. Sid, there is no change of phase. It is from -10. The ice is at, listen to me, ice is at -10. Okay. And it is going to come to ice at 0. Okay. The ice is at -10 and it is going to come to 0 degrees. Okay. There is no change of phase over here. Okay. So you have to write amount of heat energy gained by 100 gram of ice at -10 degrees Celsius. Okay. To raise the temperature to 0 degrees Celsius. So Q equal to MC delta T. Okay. Aditya, come on, you tell me what will I take the value of M? What will be C and what will be delta T? Hurry up, Aditya.
M will be 100 grams.
Yes. C
will be 10. Sorry. C will be specific. 2.1 joule per gram per kg.
Very good, very good. That is what I wanted to hear. C will be specific heat capacity of ice and not water, 2.1. Yeah. And delta T?
10.
10, very good. So 0 minus 10, so plus 10. So delta T will be 10, very good. So that is the first statement, okay. Shravani, second statement. Tell me the second statement quickly, Shravani.
Amount of heat gained to convert 100 grams and from 0 degree of ice into 0 degree of water.
So the equation will be, what equation?
Q is equals to ml.
Very good. Q equal to ml. So now the next is change of phase. Very good. So first the ice came to 0 degrees. Now is the change of phase. So Q equal to ml. So the first statement that was told was amount of heat energy gained by 100 gram of ice at -10 to raise the temperature 100 gram to 0 degrees, not minus 10, but 0 degrees Celsius. Okay. So MC delta T, so 100 into 2.1 into 10, so 2100 joule. And then the next statement that comes is amount of heat energy gained by 100 gram ice at 0 degrees to convert to water at 0 degrees. Very important, 0 degree. Okay, water is also at 0 degree. So M into L, so 100 multiplied by 336. Okay. Now the next statement, Dhruv, give me the next statement quickly. Dhruv,
Yes, ma'am.
give the next statement after this.
After this,
Yeah.
ma'am, like the change in temperature from 0 degrees.
Give the whole thing, no, nicely. Amount of heat gained.
Amount of heat energy gained by water at 0 degrees when it converts to when it
No. Amount of heat energy
gained by
when the
water.
temperature of how much gram of water?
100 gram of water changes from
At
0 degrees to
0 degrees to.
how can you repeat the question, like the full question?
You just give me this statement. I don't think you're paying attention, Dhruv.
Ma'am, I was paying attention, ma'am, but I don't remember.
So 100. So the question number is given, no? Mariam, what was the question number? 11?
13th.
Ma'am, 13.
13. Come on, quickly.
1 minute.
Quickly.
Yes, ma'am, 1 minute.
Okay, who will answer? Yes, Dhruv.
100 degrees.
Very good, 100 degrees. So give me the equation quickly, Dhruv. What is the equation? Q equal to?
To M is equals to M C delta T.
What is M?
M is 100 grams.
C?
C 4.2.
4.2. And delta T?
Delta T is change in temperature, that's 100 because
Very
0
good, 100. Yeah, okay, good. So 100. Okay, so the next statement will be that amount of heat energy gained when temperature of 100 gram of water at 0 degree rises to 100 degrees Celsius. So MC delta T. Okay. So that
add all of.
Yeah, very good, Sid. Now you understood. So now you have got the heat energy gained in the 3 steps. So how much is the total heat energy gained? So all you have to do is add. So total amount of heat energy gained.
77,700.
Yes. So 2100 plus 33,600, 3,36,000. So no, this is 33,600 plus 42,000. So it will be 77700. Okay, 77,700 joules. Did you follow? Okay, simple. Just go step by step. Okay, and it's very simple, but you should know how to go step by step. Remember, in each step there will be a different value of C for different things, and delta T. Be very careful of delta T. Which temperature is going to which temperature? Narayan, are you following? Narayan missed the first lecture. That is why I'm asking. Narayan, answer me, Narayan. Are you following? Okay. Shrushti, everyone's video has to be on. Why is Shrushti's video off? Piyush Tupe. Why is the video off? You have been told so many times, Shrushti, why is the video off? Nobody's videos need to be off. Yes, Ali is attending. Good. I forgot to ask Ali. Ali, are you following everything? Okay. Now, there are some things which are related to specific heat capacity. Okay. It is in my book on page number 275. Very important. It is natural explanation of latent heat of melting and natural consequences of the high specific latent heat capacity. Okay. Now, let us see the explanation of latent heat on melting. Okay. The one thing you have to remember, children, whenever solid is converting into liquid, okay, remember there is no change in temperature. Okay, because there is no change in temperature, what happens? The molecules are not getting the heat. Okay, the molecules are not getting the heat energy to go from one state to another. So the kinetic energy of the molecules will not change. Whenever there is a change of phase, kinetic energy of molecule does not change. But after ice converts to water at 0 degrees, when the temperature of water starts rising to 20 degrees, 30 degrees, now the temperature is rising, so kinetic energy of the molecules will also change. They will start getting more and more energy and they start getting energetic, okay? But during the change of phase, there is a question that comes in the board exam. What happens to the kinetic energy of the molecules during change of phase? So the answer is that the kinetic energy of the molecules does not change during the change of phase, okay? Simply because there is no change in the temperature. In the change of phase, there is no rise in temperature. So that is why the kinetic energy does not change. Now, what are the natural consequences? So they can ask you this question. You can see simple. Snow on the mountain does not melt all at once. Okay. So because water has got a very high specific heat capacity. Okay. So to convert from ice to water, it requires a lot of heat. Okay. And the heat of the sun is not sufficient enough to melt all the snow. So it is a boon for us. This high specific heat capacity of water is a boon for us, that the snow on the mountain remains as it is and it does not melt. Okay. So that is one thing, because of the high and also latent heat of fusion. Okay. Mainly this is related to the latent heat of fusion of ice also is very high. Okay. So
Ma'am, a question.
3,36,000 joule per kg. So because of that also, the latent heat of fusion also is very high. So for the ice to melt, that much of heat should be available. Okay, you have to keep giving a lot of heat and then only it will melt. Yes, question?
Ma'am, you said that the ice does not have that, the sun does not give that much of sufficient heat on ice. Then how does the ice melt?
No, slowly it melts. See, it is giving the heat, but not all the ice. Slowly, layer by layer. Okay, the top layer, then the bottom layer. Slowly it melts, right? Because of the high latent heat of fusion. If this would not have been there, no, Amatullah, all the ice would have immediately melted, right? So then that would have caused a lot of problems. So it melts, but slowly layer by layer. The top layer and then the bottom layer. Then the next one, in cold countries, waters in the lakes and ponds does not freeze at all, okay, at once. Means when you go, okay, you see that there is a very thin layer of ice on top. Below that, it's all water only. It does not freeze at all, okay, at once. Now, some part of it is also related to the anomalous expansion of water. That is also there. But here, we have to talk about the specific heat capacity, okay, and the latent heat of fusion of ice. Okay, now latent heat of fusion of ice is quite high. Okay, so because of that, in order, the water in the lakes and pond has to give out a large quantity of heat. Okay, only then it will freeze. For freezing, it has to give out a large quantity of heat. Okay, but that is not possible, right? Because that much of heat should be available. That is not available with water to release that much heat, and because of that it just forms a thin layer, and that thin layer again acts as a you can say it acts as a bad conductor, okay, and does not allow the heat from inside to go out. Okay, so that is why you see that whenever the lake freezes, okay, you should not walk on it because below there will still be water, only the top layer freezes. Okay,
Ma'am,
yeah.
can I go to the washroom?
Yeah.
Also, it's been 45 minutes. I don't know
Yeah,
how
just
long the
5
class
minutes
is,
more.
but just
5 minutes more, just to, you can quickly come back, Narayan. Now, the next one, drinks get cooled more quickly by adding pieces of ice. Okay, now see here, if I have, let us say, some cold drink, okay, I want it to become cold. You add ice, okay, it will become cold faster rather than adding cold water, very cold water, which is also at 0 degrees, okay, but still adding ice will make it more cool. Why? Because when you add ice has got extra heat. What is that extra heat? That latent heat of fusion, right? So for the ice to melt, when the ice wants to melt, okay, it will try to extract the heat, right? And from where will it take the heat? From the cold, the drink that you have made, okay? So if you have made lemon juice, okay, all the heat from the lemon juice will be extracted by that ice cube, okay, for it to melt, okay? So what happens in turn? Your lemon juice will become very nice and chilled, right? So that is why you have to add ice. And the very favorite question which always asked, right? It is very much cold after a hailstorm. You know what is a hailstorm? Instead of rain, yeah, the hail, that is pieces of ice, okay? Big pieces of ice fall on the ground, okay? That is called a hailstorm. Now, when the hailstorm is going to approach, it may not be so cold, okay? But once all the ice has fallen on the ground, and then when you go out, you find that the temperature has dropped like anything. Now, what is the reason? The reason is that ice is all on the ground, and this ice wants to melt, okay? Now this ice, that hailstorm, those cubes of ice which are lying on the ground, for melting, what they are doing? They are taking the heat from everywhere, from the atmosphere. They are taking the heat from the atmosphere and they are trying to melt. So in the process, what is happening? The atmosphere around is becoming very, very cold, okay? So because of the high latent heat of fusion of ice for melting, it starts taking the heat from the atmosphere and it starts melting, okay? So because of this reason, okay, we find that it's very, very cold after the hailstorm. And the same thing is that when the lakes, a frozen lake starts melting, okay, that is the next one. Again, we find that around the lake, it becomes very, very chilly. So the same thing, the frozen layer of the lake, when it wants to melt, okay, it starts taking the heat from the surrounding, right? And it starts melting. So what happens? There is a total drop in temperature in the surrounding areas.